Good morning, everyone. I'm Anne-Esther Breyton from France, and I'm going to present some of my thesis results concerning the effect of starch digestibility modulation on glycemic variability and postprandial glycemic excursions in type 2 diabetic subjects in a pilot randomized controlled trial. So my poster in the number 696. So beyond the HbA1c level, the reduction of glycemic variability and postprandial glycemic excursion is associated with a better progressive prognosis in type 2 diabetic subjects. And as the diet remains the cornerstone of type 2 diabetic management, diet interventions regulating postprandial glycemic response may be relevant for controlling glycemic variability. And besides, depending on its structure, origin, or food process, starch contained in food product can display different digestibility rates. So the aim of the study was to determine whether increasing the content of slowly digestible starch in the diet of type 2 diabetic subjects could reduce both glycemic variability and postprandial glycemic excursion compared to a standard diet low in SDS. So for this pilot study, we recruited 8 type 2 diabetic subjects. They were under metformin and stagliptin. They were around 60 years old with a BMI of 32 and an HbA1c about 7%. We asked them to consume a controlled diet containing starchy product, either rich or low in SDS, in a crossover randomized design, as you can see here. And they had like 2 weeks washout periods. Firstly, we need to design both diets, so the high SDS1 and the low SDS1. And we started by screening some commercial products in order to have the SDS content. And we checked that the only difference between both diets was the starch digestibility. So we can see on the results here that we obtain a significant difference between both diets concerning the SDS content, with a much more higher content, in the high SDS diet. During both diet periods, the 24-hour glycemic profile was evaluated thanks to CGMS, which is a continuous glucose monitoring system. And some glycemic parameters were evaluated, such as the standard deviation, the coefficient of variation, the mean amplitude of glucose excursion, and the time range. We also evaluated the incremental area under curves in order to evaluate the postprandial glycemic excursion. So now about the results. The glycemic variability was significantly improved and lower during the high SDS diet in comparison to the low SDS diet, so here, here, and here, for the 3 parameters, so the SD, the CV, and the MAJ. Concerning the timing range, we can see that for the more appropriate postprandial targets, so the 140-180 milligram per deciliters, the time spent into this range was significantly higher during the high SDS diet over there, while the time spent above 180 milligram per deciliters was significantly higher during this time the low SDS diet, so here and here. When summing the main meals of the day, we can see that for both intervals, so the 0-120 minutes and the 0-140 minutes, it's during the high SDS diet that the incremental area under curves was lowered in comparison to the low SDS diet. So to conclude, we show that controlling starch digestibility of cereal products with controlled food process and simple dietary advices allows increasing the SDS in the diet, and the consumption of a high, slowly digestible starch diet significantly reduces both glycemic variability profile and postprandial glycemic excursion, but also increases the time spent within appropriate postprandial glycemic targets in type 2 diabetic subjects. So finally, the modulation of starch digestibility of the diet could be used as the simple nutritional tool in order to improve the daily glycemic control in type 2 diabetic subjects.